How did one promotion moment turn into divorce papers handed to me in the lobby at work? I had told everyone my husband was jealous and controlling. Then a process server said my full name, and my whole team went quiet. My name was Kezia Burnell, and I worked as an operations coordinator at a mid-sized tech company. I was 33, and I was tired of being seen as the helpful person in the background. I wanted the lead role on the new project. I wanted the title and the spotlight. I told myself it was not about ego. I said it was about fairness. I did the work, so I should get the reward. That Monday, the office felt loud and bright. The air smelled like coffee and printer paper. People moved fast between desks. The project director, Gavin Mercer, called a quick meeting in one of the glass rooms. He asked for ideas, and I had them ready. I explained a plan for timelines and risk. I kept my voice calm, even when my hands wanted to shake. Gavin looked at me longer than he looked at others. He said my thinking was sharp. He said the lead role needed someone who could handle pressure. He also asked who could give extra time, because the next weeks would be intense. I raised my hand first. I told myself that was leadership. After the meeting, Gavin stopped by my desk. He asked if I could stay a bit later and help him clean up the project notes. I said I could. I knew my husband would not like it, but I also knew he would not understand how rare this chance was. That is how I framed it in my head. I told myself that if Ethan loved me, he would not ask questions. I still think that logic made sense then. I stayed after most people left. The office got quiet, and the lights felt softer. Gavin came over with his laptop. He asked how my weekend was. I said it was fine. He asked if my husband supported my career. I said Ethan supported me, but he worried too much. I made it sound small, like a silly habit. Gavin nodded like he understood me deeply. He said some partners feel threatened when the other person grows. He said I should not shrink to make someone else comfortable. I felt warmth in my chest when he said it. I told myself he was just being a good manager. I ignored the part of me that liked it too much. My phone buzzed once with a text from Ethan. He asked what time I would be home. I said I would be late because of work. I added a smiley face, like that made it kind. I did not mention Gavin. I did not mention that my tasks could have waited until morning. I told myself I was doing the right thing for our family. If I got the lead, we would have more money. If I had more status, Ethan would be proud later. That is what I promised myself. When I finally drove home, the streets were dark and empty. I practiced my story in my head. I planned to act tired, so Ethan would feel guilty for asking questions. At home, the kitchen light was on. Ethan was there, and he was washing dishes. He turned when I came in. He asked why it was so late again. I said the new project was starting, and Gavin needed help. Ethan asked if it was every night now. I said it was temporary, and he was worrying too much. I said he always turned work into a fight. That was not true, but it worked. He got quiet. Ethan looked at me for a moment like he was trying to read me. He asked if I was happy. I said of course I was happy, and I said he should stop making drama. I hated how calm he was. It made me feel like I was the loud one, even if I was the one who had reasons. I told myself my reasons were bigger than his feelings. I told myself respect follows results, and I had results coming. I went to the counter and saw 2 mugs. My mug was near the sink. Ethan's mug was on the far side, closer to the edge. It was a small thing, but it felt like a line. Ethan dried his hands and asked if I could put my phone away at dinner. I said I needed it for work. He asked if work could wait while the kids slept. I said no, because I was trusted and important. I watched his face shift, like he wanted to say something sharp, but he did not. He nodded once and walked toward the hallway. Later, when the kids were asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop. I opened my email and pretended to work. I mostly thought about the meeting. I thought about Gavin's voice when he said my name. I thought about the way other people watched me when I spoke. I wanted that attention again. I told myself it was a normal hunger. Ethan came back in and asked if I had seen his phone charger. I said no. His phone lit up on the counter while he searched a drawer. The screen showed a reminder title. It said, Meeting, Personal. The time was next Thursday morning. I asked what that was. He said it was just errands. He said it like it was nothing. He did not explain. He did not offer details. That annoyed me more than it should have. I felt like he was hiding something from me. The irony did not hit me yet. I told myself I deserved to know his plans if he asked about mine. Ethan asked if I wanted tea. I said no, because I was busy. He nodded again, and he went upstairs. I texted my friend Mary Klein. I told her Ethan was acting weird again. I said he was being controlling, even though he had not even raised his voice. Mary replied fast. She said some men cannot handle a strong woman. She said I should not let him pull me down. I liked the way her words made me feel. It gave me permission. It gave me a team. I needed that. Before bed, I checked my phone one more time. A new message preview from Gavin flashed on the screen. He asked if I could stay a bit longer tomorrow because he wanted to go over the lead role plan with me. My stomach jumped in a way I did not name. I told myself it was ambition. I told myself it was opportunity. I put the phone face down, and I walked upstairs as quietly as I could. The next day, I woke up with a plan in my head. I told myself I would be calm and professional, and I would not let Ethan ruin my mood. He asked why I was already checking my phone at breakfast. I said the new project was moving fast. He said the kids wanted me to listen to their stories. I said I would listen later. Myla asked if I could come to pick up today. I said yes, like it was easy. At work, I walked in like I belonged to the lead role. I wore a blazer, even though it was not a big meeting day. Gavin passed my desk and asked if I had time for a quick chat. I said yes. He took me into a small glass room and asked how committed I was to the new project. I said I was fully committed. He said the lead role needed someone who could be flexible with time and social pressure. I said I could handle it. He asked if my home life allowed that. I said my husband would adjust. I did not say it like a question. I said it like a fact. By lunch, there was talk about a team social at a rooftop bar. Mari came to my desk and asked if I was going. I said yes. She asked if Ethan would come. I said he probably would not, because he did not fit in with my work world. I said it like that was his weakness. Mari smiled and said it was good to keep work and marriage separate. I agreed, even though I knew I was also building a wall. When I got home that evening, Ethan was putting food on plates. He asked about my day. I said it was fine and busy. He asked if I was going out with the team. I said yes, because it was important for the project. He asked if he could come too. I said it would be awkward. He asked why it would be awkward. I said he did not like those settings, and it would make me look distracted. Ethan's face changed. He said he only wanted to support me. I said support meant giving me space. I said he was making it about him again. He asked if I was embarrassed of him. I said no, but I said he could be intense and quiet around my coworkers. I said that made people uncomfortable. Ethan asked what I meant by intense. I said he watched too much and asked too many questions. I said it in a light voice, like it was a small joke. Ethan went quiet. He told the kids to eat. He kept his tone steady. That steadiness always made me feel like I was the one losing control. At the rooftop bar, the city lights looked like tiny dots. Music played low, and people talked in clusters. Gavin arrived with 2 other managers. He greeted everyone, and then stood near me for most of the time. He asked how my home was doing. I said it was fine. He asked if I was ready to be the face of the project. I said I was ready. He laughed and said he liked my confidence. I liked that he liked it. Mary pulled out her phone and started filming short clips for a story. She asked me to stand closer to the railing, so the city was behind me. I did it. Someone said I looked like a leader already. I smiled. I told myself I had earned this. Then Ethan showed up. He walked in wearing a clean jacket and his normal calm expression. He did not look angry. He walked up to me and asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and he did not need to check on me. He asked if he could say hi to my team. I said he could, but I said it like I was granting permission. I saw Gavin's eyes move to Ethan and then back to me. Gavin nodded politely. Ethan offered his hand. Gavin shook it. Ethan said it was nice to meet him. Gavin said the same. They both kept it polite. Nobody broke a law. Nobody raised a voice. Still, I felt annoyed, like Ethan had taken something from me by being present. Mari whispered that Ethan was brave for coming. I heard her tone, and it did not feel like a compliment. I wanted to protect my image, so I leaned into the story I had been telling. I said Ethan worried too much. I said he did not trust me. I said it with a laugh, like it was cute. A few coworkers laughed too. Ethan heard it. He looked at me, and he asked if we could talk outside for a minute. I said no, because I said he was not going to control my night. That word came out on purpose. Ethan asked if I could come home soon because the kids had school tomorrow. I said he could handle bedtime. I said he did it all the time anyway. That was not true, but it landed. Ethan's jaw tightened. He asked why I was speaking like that. I said because he needed to hear it. I said I was tired of him acting like my manager was a threat. I saw Gavin's face stay neutral, and I liked that. I wanted him to see Ethan as the problem, not me. Someone suggested a toast for the new project. Gavin lifted his glass and said I had been driving strong planning already. He said the project would succeed with that kind of energy. People clinked glasses. Mary filmed it. Ethan stood a little behind me. He did not interrupt. He did not pull me away. He did not start a fight. He just watched. That made me feel less powerful because I could not point to a big scene. I needed him to be the villain loudly, and he refused. On the way home, Ethan drove and I stared at my phone. He asked why I had to embarrass him. I said he embarrassed himself by showing up. He asked how showing up was wrong. I said it was wrong because I asked him not to. I told him boundaries mattered. I used a nice word to cover a selfish choice. Ethan said boundaries went both ways. I said he was twisting my words. I said he always played victim. At home, I posted a group photo from the rooftop. Ethan was at the edge in one shot. I cropped him out. I told myself it was normal. I told myself coworkers did not need to see my husband. Then I wrote a caption about finally being seen and not letting fear hold me back. I knew what it implied. I liked that it implied it without saying it. The next afternoon, I went to the school pickup line like I promised. Cars moved slowly. Parents talked in small groups. Mila walked out and climbed into the back seat. She asked why Dad looked sad lately. I said Dad was stressed from work. She asked if I made him sad. I said no, and I said adults just get tired. She asked if we were fighting. I said no, and I said we were fine. My voice sounded sure. My stomach did not. When we got home, Ethan was in the living room with the kids' backpacks. He asked how school was. I said fine. He asked if Mila said anything. I said she was normal. He asked if I could stop posting captions that made him look bad. I said he was imagining things. I said it was just social media. Ethan said words still mattered. I said he was being sensitive. I told myself I was protecting my career, but really I was protecting my control. That night, I went to the bedroom and saw Ethan's laptop on the desk. The screen was on when I entered, but it went dark fast, like he had tapped a key. He turned in his chair and asked what I needed. I said I was just getting my charger. He said okay. Then he opened a drawer, and I heard a soft click, like a lock catching. It was small, but it made my skin prickle. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing household things. He said it in a flat tone, like he did not want questions. I lay in bed and watched him move around quietly. He did not argue, he did not beg, he did not accuse me of anything. That silence felt like a new kind of pressure. I told myself he was trying to punish me. I told myself he wanted me to feel guilty. I decided I would not. I decided he did not get to make me small again. The retreat week came fast. Gavin sent a schedule with bold blocks and early mornings. He said it was a local planning retreat, so nobody could complain about travel. I told Ethan it was required. He asked why a retreat needed late hours. I said it was how serious projects worked. He asked who would watch the kids if I came home late again. I said he would, because he was their dad. The hotel conference space looked clean and cold. The carpet had a pattern that made my eyes tired. There were long tables with notepads and water pitchers. People wore name tags even though we all knew each other. Gavin walked around like a host. He asked if everyone was ready to lock in. I nodded hard, like my head could force my future. In the first session, I spoke more than usual. I explained timelines and who needed to deliver what. Gavin nodded and wrote notes. A few people looked surprised, like they forgot I could lead. That surprised me too, in a good way. After the break, Gavin asked me to stay behind for a minute. He said my energy was strong. He said he wanted me to be the lead, but he needed to know I could handle pressure without leaking personal drama into work. I asked what he meant by personal drama. He said some partners call too much and create scenes. He said it softly, like he was protecting me from my own life. I said my husband could be intense. I said he worried too much. I said I had to calm him down all the time. The words came out smooth, because I had practiced them. I did not say I had pushed him to that point. I did not say I liked the attention I got when I called him controlling. I told myself I was being honest. Later, during lunch, Murray sat beside me and asked if Gavin was giving me signals. I said he was finally seeing my value. She asked if Ethan was still acting jealous. I said yes. I added that Ethan did not understand how people like Gavin open doors. Murray said I should stop explaining my dreams to a man who feared them. I laughed. I liked the sound of it, even if it was ugly. In the afternoon, there was a strategy session that ran long. People got tired and started checking their phones. Gavin kept me engaged with questions. He asked what I would do if a team member failed a deadline. I said I would document it and move resources fast. He smiled and said I thought like a leader. Then he asked if I could meet later to go over the plan for the kickoff away from the group. He said it would be easier in a quiet space. I said yes too fast. I told myself it was normal. I told myself managers met with future leads. I did not tell myself the truth, which was that I liked being chosen. I liked being singled out. I liked that my name sounded important in his mouth. I stepped outside to call Ethan before the evening session. I said I might be late. He asked what late meant. I said it meant after the kids were asleep. He asked if I could come home and then work from there. I said no, because I needed to be present. He asked if he could pick me up later, so I did not drive tired. I said he was not my chauffeur. I heard myself and still did not stop. I said he was trying to control where I was. Ethan went quiet for a beat and then said he understood. He said he would do bedtime. He did not shout. That calm always made me feel like he was judging me, even when he did not say it. That night, Gavin and I met away from the main group. I will not dress it up. The boundary crossed in a way I cannot call an accident. It was not romantic. It was not a movie scene. It was a choice. I told myself it was a trade. I told myself this was what powerful people did. I told myself I was not hurting anyone, because Ethan would never know. I believed that thought more than I believed any promise I had ever made. After, Gavin acted normal. He talked about deliverables. He said the lead role was ours now if I stayed loyal. He asked if I understood what loyalty meant. I said I did. He said he liked how practical I was. The words should have made me feel ashamed, but they made me feel safe. I told myself I had secured my future. When I walked to the parking garage, the air felt colder than before. My phone showed missed notifications, and my heart jumped at every buzz. I opened my messages and stared at a thread with Gavin's name. I deleted parts. Then I renamed his contact with an emoji, like that would hide him from reality. I told myself I was being careful. I told myself smart women protected themselves. I ordered a ride instead of driving because I did not want my car on camera near the hotel exit at a strange hour. Even as I did it, I told myself I was only avoiding gossip. I was not thinking about my husband, not in a real way. I was thinking about the lead role. At home, the house was dark except for a small lamp. Ethan was in the living room. He asked if the retreat ran that late. I said yes, and I said we had breakout work. He asked why my location pinged near the hotel lounge. I said the breakout groups met wherever there were tables. He asked why my expense app showed a ride at a late hour if it was local. I said the team changed plans and I did not want to drive tired. Ethan nodded once. He asked if I could show him the schedule. I said it was on my work email and he should not touch it. I made it sound like a privacy rule, not a wall. Ethan asked if I was still happy. I said yes. He asked why I sounded angry when he asked simple questions. I said because he always assumed the worst. I said he was looking for problems. I said it like he was the one poisoning the marriage. Ethan said he was only trying to understand. I told him understanding was not the same as interrogation. I watched his eyes narrow a little, but he did not react in a wild way. He stood up and said he was going to bed. He told me to lock the door when I came up. I went to the kitchen and saw the counter wiped clean. 2 mugs sat on opposite sides again. I noticed a faint smell of toner in the air, like the printer had been used. I looked at the printer tray and saw 1 blank page half out, like someone had started something and stopped. My stomach tightened. I told myself Ethan was being dramatic. Then I caught myself. Ethan had not done anything dramatic. He had been quiet. The next morning, I saw his phone face down on the table. When he picked it up, I heard a soft beep, like a recording app ending or starting. I asked what that was. He said it was a reminder tone. He said he had a lot to manage. He did not explain more. He did not accuse me. He just looked tired. At work, Gavin acted like nothing had happened. He called me into a small room and said he wanted me to lead the kickoff planning. He said it as if he was gifting me something. I thanked him. I felt proud and sick at the same time. I pushed the sick feeling down and kept the proud one on top. It was easier. That night, Paige texted me and asked why I was never home anymore. She said Mila told her I worked all night. I replied that kids exaggerate. Paige asked if Ethan was okay. I said he was being moody. She said my story kept changing. I told her she was being nosy. I told myself she was jealous of my success. That was my favorite excuse because it made me the hero. When I walked past Ethan's desk later, I saw his car keys set neatly beside a small stack of folders. The top folder had a plain label, household. Another said bank. He closed his laptop when he saw me watching. He asked if I needed something. I said no. I went upstairs, but the back of my neck stayed hot. I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. I told myself the lead role would fix everything. I told myself Ethan would calm down when he saw results. I told myself he was lucky to have a wife who did what it took. Then my phone buzzed with a new message from Gavin about next steps, and I answered right away, like my life depended on it. The family dinner was on a Thursday, and I treated it like a stage. My mother picked the restaurant because it looked nice and had long tables. She said it would be good for togetherness. I knew what she really meant. She wanted witnesses. She wanted people to agree with her version of our marriage, which was also my version. Ethan did not want to go. He asked if we could skip it because the kids were tired. I said the kids would be fine. He asked why I needed a dinner so badly. I said because family mattered, and he was always avoiding it. I said that in front of Mila, so he would not push back too hard. He looked at me, then he looked at the kids, and he said, okay. At the restaurant, the lights were warm and the chairs were close together. My mother hugged me first and asked if work was finally recognizing me. I said yes and smiled. Ethan's mother hugged the kids and asked if they ate enough today. She did not ask me about my project. She looked at Ethan's face instead, like she was checking if he was sleeping. We sat down, and my mother started talking fast. She asked Ethan about his job, but she asked in a way that sounded like she already knew the answer and did not care. She asked me about my new project lead work, and she asked in a way that made the whole table listen. I spoke a little louder than normal. I said I was carrying a lot and still doing great. I said the company trusted me. I watched Ethan while I said it, like my success was a weapon. My sister Paige came late and slid into a seat near me. She asked if everything was okay. I said yes, and I said Ethan was just in one of his moods. Ethan heard it. He asked me quietly to stop speaking about him like he was not there. I laughed a little and asked why he was so sensitive. My mother jumped in and said, "Men sometimes struggle when their wife outgrows them." She said it like a fact. Ethan's father cleared his throat and asked about the kids' school. Ethan answered that. He kept his voice steady. He did not mention my late nights. He did not say anything rude. That calm made me want to push harder, because calm gave him dignity. I did not want him to have dignity in front of my family. I wanted him to look like the problem, so I told a story. I said Ethan had been monitoring my time and acting suspicious. I said he questioned my work like he owned me. Ethan asked what monitoring meant, and he asked me to give one clear example. I said he asked about my schedule. Ethan's mother's eyes narrowed. She asked if asking about schedule was now a crime. I said no, but I said it was about tone. I said he always had a tone. Ethan asked what tone. I said a controlling one. Paige looked at me like she was trying to find the missing pieces. She asked if I was happy at home. I said I would be happier if Ethan stopped acting like my boss. Ethan said he was not acting like my boss. He said he was trying to understand why our routines change so fast. He said it calmly, and he said it like a simple truth. My mother said he should be proud, not suspicious. Ethan said he was proud of my work, but he still needed honesty. That word, honesty, hit me like a slap, even though he did not raise his voice. The kids got restless. Mila asked if we were fighting again. I said no, and I said Mila should eat. Ethan's mother asked me not to speak sharply to Mila. I said Mila was fine, and I said people were too soft these days. Ethan's father said the kids were watching everything. I said kids forget. I knew that was not true, but it was comforting to say. When the food came, Ethan barely ate. He cut his food into neat pieces, like he was keeping his hands busy. At one point, I saw him glance at his phone on the table. The screen lit up for a second. I caught a preview of a reminder that said, "Meeting personal," and I saw a time. He turned the screen down right away. I asked what that was again, and I asked in a sweet voice. He said it was just a meeting. He did not explain. My mother smirked like she thought she had found a secret. I felt a strange anger, like he was allowed privacy, but I was not. After dessert, Ethan stood up and asked the waiter for separate checks. My mother made a face and asked if he was being dramatic. Ethan said he was just doing what felt clear. He paid for the kids' meals and his own. He did not touch my portion. That small act felt louder than a shout. People noticed. Paige noticed. I told myself he did it to shame me. I told myself he was trying to look noble. I hated that it worked. On the drive home, Ethan asked why I talked about him like he was the enemy. I said because he had been acting like the enemy. He asked what he had done that was so bad. I said he made me feel watched. He asked if I could name one thing he did that was illegal or threatening. I said it did not need to be illegal to be wrong. I used big words to cover a weak point. Ethan said he was not trying to hurt me. He said he was trying to protect the kids from chaos. I told him he was using the kids to control me. He got quiet again, and the quiet felt heavier than before. 2 days later, we had a kids' event at the community center. It was a small winter program with crafts and group photos. I wore a bright sweater and made sure my hair looked neat. I wanted the other parents to see me as stable. Ethan came too. He stood a little behind us, like he did not want attention. I took that as proof of his coldness, even though it was really restraint. A volunteer asked if we wanted a family photo. I said yes right away. Ethan asked if the kids wanted it. Mila said yes. The volunteer counted down, and I smiled hard. I leaned into Ethan's side so the picture would show closeness. Ethan stayed still. He did not move away, but he did not perform. Afterward, I asked if he could at least pretend. He said he was not going to lie with his face. He said it softly, like he was tired of acting. In the hallway, Mari happened to be there with her niece. She waved and asked how I was. I told her I was doing great, and I said I was basically running the new project. She asked where Ethan was. I pointed and said he was brooding, like it was funny. Mari laughed too loud. Ethan heard it. He asked me to stop making him the joke. I said I was just being honest. He said honesty did not mean cruelty. That night at home, I opened my phone and posted the community center photo. I wrote a caption about holding it together. I did not name Ethan, but I shaped the story again. Ethan walked past and asked if I could stop sharing vague captions that made him look bad. I said he was imagining it. I said nobody cared. Ethan said people always care, and he said once a story is out, it does not come back. I told him he was threatening me with reputation talk. He said he was not threatening me. He said he was warning me. Later, I went downstairs for water and saw the printer tray slightly open. There was a faint toner smell again. The counter was cleared, almost too clean. On the edge of the desk, I saw a small stack of folders pushed into a neat line. I could read labels like utilities and bank before Ethan stepped between me and the desk. He asked what I needed. I said water. He nodded and stepped aside, but his eyes stayed on me, steady and careful. I went back upstairs, feeling annoyed, not scared. I told myself he was trying to intimidate me with organization. I told myself he wanted me to think he was planning something. I promised myself I would not be moved. I told myself I was the one with power now. I had the project. I had attention. Ethan was just a man who could not handle it. Still, when Mila asked at bedtime if she had to choose where to live someday, my throat tightened. I told her no, and I told her families do not break that way. I said it with a confidence I did not feel. Then I lay down next to Ethan, and he faced the other direction, and the space between us felt like a decision I could not undo. I started acting like the lead role already belonged to me. In my head, the project was proof that I was right about everything. If I could win at work, then I could win at home too. That was how I thought. Ethan was just an obstacle that kept asking for honesty, and honesty felt like a trap. On Monday morning, I went to the gym before work because I wanted to look sharp in meetings. The lobby smelled like clean towels and lemon spray. I stood by the check-in desk and answered Gavin's messages with fast fingers. He asked if I could travel for a kickoff visit next month. I said yes right away. He asked if I could stay late this week to finalize the plan. I said of course. I did not check our calendar. I did not think about school pickup. I told myself Ethan could cover it because he always handled the home stuff. I said it like it was a small job, even though it was our whole life. When I got home that afternoon, Ethan was sitting at the kitchen table with a notebook open. The kids were coloring quietly. He asked if I had a minute to talk about schedules. I said I was busy. He asked if I could at least confirm which nights I would be late. I said I could not predict everything. He asked if I could stop committing to extra work time without telling him. I said he was trying to control my career. He said he was trying to control chaos, not me. I told him those were the same thing. Mila asked if we could all go to the park this weekend. I said yes, but I said it while looking at my phone. Ethan asked if I meant it. I said yes and told him to stop testing me. I noticed his face change again, like he was folding something inside himself. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself I was the one under pressure, not him. At work, The attention kept feeding me. Gavin praised my plan in front of the team. He asked me to lead a new meeting, and I loved how that sounded. Mari told me I was glowing. She asked if I was finally going to outgrow Ethan. I laughed and said I was not outgrowing anyone, but I also did not defend him. I liked the way she spoke about him, like he was a small thing. That evening, Ethan texted and asked what time I would be home. I said late. He asked if late meant after the kids slept. I said yes. He said he would handle dinner. He also asked if I could please tell him before I changed plans. I said he was making a big issue out of nothing. I did not realize that my words were turning into a record by themselves. I only knew they made me feel in charge. 2 days later, we went to the supermarket after daycare pickup because the fridge was empty. Ethan pushed the cart with Noah sitting in the child seat. Milo, Noah, held a small toy car and made engine sounds. Mila asked for cereal with a cartoon character. I said yes because it was easier than parenting in public. Ethan asked if we could stick to a list. I said he was being strict for no reason. At the checkout, Ethan started placing items in 2 groups. He put the kids' food, milk and soap together. He put my extra snacks and wine-free drinks and a magazine on the other side. The cashier looked confused. Ethan asked to split the payment. He said he would pay for the kids' needs. I asked what he was doing. He said he was keeping things clear. I told him he was being petty. He said he was being careful. I told him careful was just a fancy word for punishment. He did not argue. He just tapped his card and took the receipt without looking at me. In the parking lot, I asked if he was trying to shame me. He said no. He said he was trying to stop surprises. I said he was acting like we were strangers. He said we were acting like strangers, and he said it without anger. That calm sentence hit harder than a rude one. I snapped and told him he should be grateful I was bringing success into our house. He looked at me and said, success did not fix disrespect. I told him he was jealous of my life. That night, Mari called while I was making tea. I put her on speaker because I wanted Ethan to hear that other people agreed with me. Mari asked how my boss fight at home was going. I laughed and said Ethan was being weird again. I said he was trying to manage my time like a parent. Mari asked if he was still watching me. I said yes, and I added that he was acting cold and punishing me with silence. I said it loud enough for Ethan to catch every word. Ethan walked in and heard his name. He did not shout. He asked who I was talking to. I said my friend. He asked if I could talk about our marriage privately. I said I was not the one hiding things. Mari went quiet for a second. Then she said Ethan sounded controlling. I felt proud, like I had witnesses. Ethan asked me to take the call. Off speaker because the kids could hear. I said the kids were fine. He asked me to stop using the kids as a shield for adult talk. I said he was twisting my words again. After I ended the call, Ethan said he wanted to set rules. He said we should keep adult conflict away from the kids. He said we should use writing for logistics so we did not fight in front of them. I laughed and asked if he was now my manager too. He said it was not about power. He said it was about reducing harm. I told him he was acting like I was dangerous. He said actions can be dangerous even without yelling. I told him he was trying to make me the villain. The next morning, I noticed new routines. Ethan's phone had an alarm label that read paper drop. A small sticky note sat near his keys that said bring forms. I asked what forms. He said it was boring household stuff. He said it like he was closing a door. In the afternoon, I saw him looking at a spreadsheet on his laptop, but he turned the screen away when I walked near. I told myself he was plotting something childish, like moving money to scare me. I told myself I would not be scared. Paige came by on Friday to drop off a toy for the kids. She watched Ethan pack the kids' snacks into labeled containers. She asked why he was doing everything so neatly. He said it helped the week go smoother. Paige looked at me and asked if things were okay. I told her Ethan was doing a control phase again. Ethan did not respond. He just put the snack bag in the fridge and wiped the counter. The quiet made Paige uncomfortable. She left quickly. That night, I stood on the stairwell landing while Ethan checked the front door lock. His car was pointed toward the street again, like he had backed in on purpose. His keys jingled, and I saw a new key on the ring. I asked what that was. He said it was for storage. I asked what storage. He said it was just storage. I told him he was being secretive, and I said that word like it proved he was guilty. Ethan turned to me and finally held my gaze. He asked if I was done turning everything into a performance. I said I did not know what he meant. He asked if I could stop making him look bad to friends and family. I said people had eyes and they saw the truth. He asked what truth I meant. I said the truth that he was insecure. He nodded once like he had heard enough. Then he said, in a low voice that did not shake, that he was not going to fight like this anymore. He said he would handle it properly. The next Monday morning, I walked into the office tower like nothing could touch me. I had my laptop bag, my blazer, and my lead smile ready. I told myself Ethan was just being dramatic, and his properly line was only a threat to scare me. I told myself he would cool down when he saw how important I was. In the lobby, people moved around the coffee stand and the security gates. I saw Nina from HR near the elevators, talking to someone with a clipboard. Gavin was not far away. He was laughing with two managers, and I felt my confidence rise again. I thought, this is my world. Ethan is outside of it. Then a stranger stepped in front of me and asked if my name was Kezia Burnell. I said yes, and I said it with pride, like it was a title. The stranger asked me to confirm my address. I asked why, and I tried to sound annoyed. The stranger said they had legal documents to deliver. I laughed once and asked if this was a joke. The stranger held out a thick envelope. I did not take it at first. I looked around, hoping it would vanish if I ignored it. A few coworkers slowed down. Nina's eyes flicked toward me. Gavin stopped laughing. The stranger said I had been served, and they repeated my name clearly. I grabbed the envelope because it felt worse to refuse in front of everyone. My hands were steady for 2 seconds. Then I saw Ethan's name printed inside the first page through the opening. My throat got dry fast. Ethan was there, a few steps away near the lobby seating. He did not come close. He did not shout. He did not point at me. He looked tired, but his posture was straight. He asked in a calm voice if we could keep this respectful, because the kids deserved that. I said he was doing this to ruin my career. He said it was not about my career. He said it was about facts and stability. I flipped through the pages too fast, like speed could change the words. I saw petition, and I saw temporary orders. I saw a custody schedule with days and times, starting immediately. I saw a rule about not discussing adult issues with the kids. I saw a note about financial safeguards, separate spending, and preserving assets until the process was finished. I felt heat rush into my face. I told myself it was unfair. I told myself he had no right. I told myself he was punishing me for being successful. I said he was jealous. Ethan said he was not jealous. He said he was done being lied to. He said he had kept records because I left him no choice. Nina approached and asked me to come into a private room. I said this was personal and not work. Nina said the service happened in the lobby and it affected the workplace, so she had to document it. Gavin hovered near the elevator doors and avoided my eyes. He looked at the papers and then looked away, like I was suddenly risky. I tried to talk, but my voice sounded thin. I told Ethan he could not do this without warning. Ethan said he did warn me,